Hi, we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community and try to live a more sustainable life.
Morning compost fans. So this morning we're going to start tilling the land which we're going to turn into the no dig area. I've just had a quick go on the tiller that we bought recently, and because the grass is so long down there, it's just wrapping around the I'm not sure what the correct terminology is, but the cutting bit underneath that goes into the ground and tills everything up. Anyway, it just got wrapped up with grass. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the little sit-on lawnmower down there and just trim it right back. I've got it set on the highest setting. I've just had a bit of a go on it and it seems to be working all right. To be fair, I've been constantly surprised by how good this little sit-on lawnmower is. I don't think it's footage I've ever showed you, but when we were up in the woods and Emma was trimming up there and I was going through there with the lawnmower on the highest setting, it dealt with some really steep terrain up there, and at some points I was a bit worried I was going to tip the thing over, but it did the job. And I'm taking it down into a previously ploughed field, and I've just spent 10 minutes going up and down in it to see if it works, and it's doing the business. So we're taking up all the setting out that we did previously. Again, I don't think we've ever showed you that, of the 5 no-till beds that we're going to be using. We're taking all the setting out of that. I'm going to run over it with the lawnmower to cut to the grass right back down, and then I'm going to run over it with the tiller for our no-dig garden. So that's strange. Anyway. The lawnmower does have a collection box normally attached to the back of it, which I'm not using in this situation just because I'd be constantly stopping and emptying it, and we just wanted to crack on with the work. And also, it going back into the soil is not a bad thing. Just to give you a sense of size and scale of this bit of land we're working on here, it's roughly 25 metres long by 25 metres wide. Our intention is to get 5 1.2 metre wide no dig beds along here or across here, down here, with 600mm walkways in between, which we intend to be living pathways. On the far right hand side there's going to be a 15 metre long by a 4 metre wide polytunnel going on there. Once the grass was at a more manageable level, it was time to try the rotavator again. This particular model has an 850mm or 85cm wide cutting face, and I made light work of the soil. I was really pleased with the outcome. Whilst initially it seemed quite hard work, it was sort of a wrestling match really with the machine. After a while I sort of got into it and understood what I needed to do to make it go forwards or dig into the ground a bit deeper. So yeah, just a bit of time and a bit of experience worked really well. I got to the area done that I needed to, just had to cut it a little bit short as we had arranged a phone call back to the UK with our family. Having never used a rototiller before, I'm pretty pleased with how that's gone. Initially, while the grass was sort of still made in the ground, I said to Emma, it's like wrestling a bear, this thing. But once you got that sort of initial bit of cultivation done, a bit of tilling, then it seemed to go much more smoothly. So I've been over it a couple of times now, just to keep any grass that's coming back through from growing or getting established. I'm hoping for a bit of rain in the next week or so, because the green manure seeds have arrived, and I want to get them out. Yeah, pleased with that. Morning. The polytunnels arrived yesterday, so we're going to start putting it together. First we're going to start with the main hoops, because there's lots of them and we should get into a bit of a rhythm to get them completed. So we're going to show you one of them, and then we're going to crack on and do the other 13 off camera, because really you don't want to be watching all that, do you? Let's go. So on each joint there are these strengthening plates. There's a short bolt which goes at the bottom and a longer bolt which goes at the top. We think the longer bolt is because we're going to have to join another set of tubes to this tube later, and that's why there's a longer bolt. So we're only doing these up finger tight. We're nipping these tight up. Okay, so we've done the 13 main hoops. We're on to the two ends now. It's exactly the same, apart from the poles have got additional holes in them for other struts to be attached to. One would assume. So yeah, same principle, slightly different poles. Here we go.
After we constructed the first 13 main hoops and the two end hoops, we transported them or carried them down to the location where we're going to put the polytunnel at the side of the field. Initially it was slow going getting started. The instructions, as we mentioned before, were extremely vague. Basically were line diagrams, no indication of what bolts needed to be where. So we were just employing a bit of common sense really to make sure that we thought we were using the right bolts in the right places. It mainly turned out okay. As you'll see later, that where we'd constructed some of the hoops, it was slightly incorrect, but it wasn't too much of a hassle to rearrange them. It was a blazingly hot day when we put this the frame up for the polytunnel. In fact, my camera on my phone stopped working because of the heat. So we had to swap over to a different camera that wasn't so affected by the heat of the day.
again. So we're back again on the polytunnel project. Got quite a bit done yesterday, as you can see behind us. Darkness stopped play yesterday. I'm sure you'll see in the footage that we were battling away in the dark last night. So what we've got to do this morning is get the door on this end and actually build the door, and then we can put the polythene on itself, which involves a bit of digging as well. So that's interesting. Just one point to note is that we made an error when we put the other end together, and also we've made the same error at this end. The instructions aren't very clear, it's just a line diagram, but as you can see, this hole here needs to be up here. So this pole is in the wrong way around, and yesterday we did exactly the same, but also this hole here was on the wrong side. It was over there, so we had to take the whole end off, swap it round, and then take that out and swap that round. So first job this morning is to take this pole out and swap it round to allow us to crack on and install the door at this end. We've got up a bit earlier this morning to try and get some work done before it gets too hot. Yesterday by 1:30 we just couldn't work anymore. It was too hot, so we spent the afternoon indoors, then came out again in the early evening and into the night to try and get as much done as we could. But here we go, let's crack on, let's get it done.
So the farmer that's next door to us, that's got the cows, he has just pulled up on our front gate and bipped his horn, which is the customary thing to do, it seems, around here when you want someone's attention, in his tractor, asking if we wanted some compost. And basically I think that he's just watched us build our polytunnel frame and thought, I know what they need, and has just dropped us off this load and then said, do you want some more? I can bring you some more. So after us hunting and trying to find compost for absolutely ages, I genuinely cannot believe that we just have got this compost just arrived. It's incredible. Is that hard?
Yeah.
It looks it. Come on, crack on. It ain't gonna do it itself.
It's a bit warm for this.
It'll be lunchtime in a minute.
What time is it?
1:30.
Oh, it's earlier than I thought.
You've wandered offline. Would you like to have a little break and explain to the kind viewers at home what you're doing?
Digging a trench to put the plastic in, so when the plastic comes over the polytunnel frame, goes into the trench out the other side, and then we backfill on top of it just to stop the wind getting underneath it, just a bit of extra insurance. I'm going to dig deeper than this, by the way. I'm just getting an initial trench out.
It's such a shame that we don't have two of them.
I can find you one.
No, we definitely don't have one. We've only got one.
I can find you a traditional British spade.
Ugh. Someone's got to stand here and film you. The joke's on me, because the farmer that kindly came and gave us some compost told us that the hole that Adam was very kindly digging for the both of us wasn't deep enough. So I've had no choice but to actually join in. Although at 32 degrees at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it is now getting too hot, so we're going to call it a day, and I'm sure we'll be getting the head torches back out this evening and finishing it then. Morning! It's another scorching hot day today in Galicia, so we've started early. We believe that the weather's going to turn at the weekend, so we're wanting to get as much as we can now done. So we mentioned the other day about we had some compost that was kindly brought over by our lovely neighbour Pepe, who'd seen that we're building the polytunnel and decided that he could come and had some excess compost of his own and he could come and give it to us. However, that compost seems to be mostly still raw manure. I mean, it's not smelly manure, so it's clearly well rotted, but it still is obviously manure. So we decided to take the bullet, and we've bought 4 cubic metres of actual compost from a company called EcoSelter. It's in Galicia they are. So we're taking this morning and probably this afternoon when it gets cooler again after about 5 o'clock, and we're adding this on top of the manure compost that we've already put down, and hopefully we're going to get this to the 20 centimetres depth that we wanted to have for our beds, and from this day forward it should be a no dig. Hi Ads!
Morning. We were hoping to get the polythene cover on the polytunnel because we thought that'd be a nice sort of line in the sand for this week's episode. You know, we get the polytunnel frame built, get some compost in, and get the plastic on. But unfortunately, we've run out of time. We keep getting quite strong gusts of wind today, and we don't want to be halfway through getting the polythene on, and a strong gust of wind comes and carries myself and Em off into the Asturias over the hills. So the weather forecast is much better for tomorrow with lighter winds, so we're going to wait till tomorrow to get the plastic on. We're pretty much set in here now. We've got the manure down, which our neighbour bought us last weekend, and we've also topped that up with some other compost that we bought in and had delivered early in the week. So we've almost achieved the 8 inches, 200 millimeters or 20 centimeters worth of compost we need for our no dig beds. We're still a bit undecided what we're going to do down the middle here, but I think we need to make a decision quick, because as you can see already, the grass is growing down there. Ideally we want to get some wood chip or something down there, but we're struggling to source it without going to a garden centre and buying loads of plastic bags full of wood chip. So we're just having to think about that, what we're going to do. But like I said, we're going to have to get on top of that quick, because the grass is coming quickly. So that's it for this week, I think. Hopefully next week we'll be able to report back with a nicely completed polytunnel. Have a great weekend, guys.